All right, babies, it's that time again. Oh, yeah. We are in Joshua 7. Another complete garbage book. I wouldn't even bother looking at it. I'll tell you why. Let's see. Let me turn the fan down. Alright, why am I telling you? Just so you can see why it is a piece of garbage. It's some convoluted battle story where, if I have it right, again, they look to go spy on this land. I think it's called AI. And there's the thought, oh, you don't need to spy on these people. Or when they spied on them, they found out it was only a small number of people, so there was no point in, sending a huge army to overtake them, but instead they got their butts kicked. And Joshua complains to God that how could you let this happen? Now Israel is going to be a laughing stock, and no one's going to respect your name, Yahweh, whatever. And then somewhere in the midst of all this, someone kept some riches for themselves. And, I guess it was before the battle. Somebody had stolen some riches, and it was referred to as the accursed thing, and it wasn't revealed till the end of the chapter that it was some riches. And so it turns out that the reason they lost the battle is because God was punishing Israel because one of its members did this, heinous act. And then once it was discovered, the punishment was for he and his family to be stoned to death. And then after that, God wasn't angry anymore. Oh, come on. You got to be kidding me. Seriously? I'm sorry. I will go to my grave. My own grave. Holding the position that is not how God deals with things. That is not inspired. It's clearly meant to show God to be a bigger, badder, meaner God than the other gods of the time, trying to bring respect to who Israel worshipped, that everybody else should pay attention and respect Israel because of the big, bad, mean God. Sorry, I'm not buying it. Not buying it. It's just, it blows my mind that out of this insanity, complete insanity, that someone as beautiful as Jesus emerged. It just blows my mind. I'm just like, what is going on here? Wow. There's also something else that's going on at work that's really bothering me, so it's an unresolved thing, and I don't want to get into it, but it's just another example of administrative incompetence, and somehow I have to get involved and produce something that I think is inferior and inaccurate, and it makes a student look more needy than they are, when the real problem is the needy staff. And I got to create an annual report that puts the blame on the student, when to me it's clearly the staff don't know how to manage a classroom, and they're saying that the student can't manage themselves. Complete garbage. I've known the student for years. They're never an issue when they're in a context where clear expectations are followed and respectful behavior is consistently conducted by staff. So it's a complete mess. So let's see if we can tie these two nonsense things in, right? It's got to be a connection here, because that's the only way I'm gonna teach you something today. All right, so in the one case we have, it's basically, that's what it is. It's a misperception, a misreading, and not only that, but an intransigent misreading. In other words, people are holding on to a perspective that is wrong, that is not conducive to good health, and they're holding on to it as if it's incontrovertible. There's today's lesson. How's that for inspiration? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that's what we're up against. I think a lot of the problems in the Bible are based on that. A lot of the problems in the world are based on people who believe in the Bible because of that kind of a misinformed mindset. And it's up to the rest of us to figure out how we're going to stay true to who we are and not lose our minds over the matter. Now, speaking of losing our minds over the matter, there was one time where Jesus is depicted as going into the temple and overturning the tables because they're of a so misinformed position. So I'm moving towards the cleansing of the temple mindset right now, but I don't know if that's going to be beneficial for my longevity in my position. So I might just have to suck it up, as they say. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah. And I also couldn't get into a good prayer mode yesterday because I was tired. So it was weird. I couldn't. It's not like I fell asleep, but I felt like I didn't have enough energy to really, stay focused in a prolonged prayer. So that was kind of messed up too. It is Friday, if that's supposed to mean anything. And it's a half a day at work. I'm all done with my grades that are due today, so that's all right. But I have this nonsense report to compile. And the whole time I'm doing it, I'm going to be upset because there's data in it that I believe is misrepresenting the student, who I am assigned as their case manager. Yay, that sounds great. All right, so wish me luck. Hold me in prayer. I'll do the same for you. Hugs and kisses, babies. We'll get through this.